Hi, I'm Bethany Vaughn. We're at Red Hot Yoga. This is Power Level 1 on a beautiful Wednesday night, steamy night. Let's get started. We're going to take our knees just to the inside edge of the mat. Put the tops of the feet down, big toes so that they touch. Lengthening your arms long out in front of you. Placing your forehead onto the mat. And then easing your hips and your legs back towards your heels. You're going to create a lot of space in between the vertebrae up and down your spine. You also want to make sure that you feel supported in your pose. So if you have a back issue or if you're pregnant, you're going to take your knees just wide enough that you feel your low ribs in contact with your upper thighs. And this added support allows you to relax a little more deeply. And make sure that your forehead is positioned on the mat so that the back of the neck feels long towards the crown of the head. You might need to move your chin a little bit forward, or you may need to bring your chin slightly towards your chest. We're going to take some deep and full breaths. And anyone who chooses not to be on the screen at any time can move. Basically, the camera just gets a bit of the row that I'm in and a little bit of the row behind me. And as you breathe up and down your spine, creating all of this space, notice if you can also create space in your mind. So we are capable of creating space in our physical body, but we can also create space in our mind. There is a space in between our thoughts. Notice how large that space is in between your thoughts, or if your thoughts seem to run into one another. We have a lot of really unnecessary thoughts throughout each day. It's been said that we have up to 60,000 thoughts that we don't even need in the course of a day. It's a lot. So when you come to your mat and you are asked to focus on one thing only, which is your breath, make a conscious effort to focus on your breath. Feel the breath on all sides of your chest. If you need to, you can take a cleansing breath, which is in the nose and out the mouth, and you can take a cleansing breath anytime you need throughout the practice. And when you feel like you can take a full, deep, and complete breath all the way in and all the way out through the nose only, then start breathing parallel. And your parallel breaths should last 5 to 6 counts in and 5 to 6 counts out. Those of you who are more experienced can probably go a little longer than that, 8 or 10 counts. Those of you who don't have a real large lung capacity yet, 3 or 4 counts is perfectly fine. Just mirror and match your inhale with your exhale. Notice how you're feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally. And we're going to practice detachment or non-attachment throughout our practice this evening. And the first thing to do is start letting go of some of those thoughts that you don't need. And enjoy the space that's created. And go a little more deeply into your active child's pose. And those of you who are familiar with Ujjayi style breath that you can feel and you can hear, you can start to amp it up. Then you should set an intention for your class. And once you've set an intention, you release it with no attachment to it. Just let it go, unconditional, no expectations, and return to your breath. And we're going to take 2 more breaths here. And at the bottom of your exhale, draw your low belly in, up and back. And on your next inhale, we come up onto all fours. You're going to line up your wrists underneath your shoulders, line up your knees underneath your hips, line up your feet behind your knees, and you can choose to keep the tops of your feet down, or you can tuck your toes forward. Feel what's right for you at this moment. Take an inhalation breath with a neutral spine. And on the exhale breath, tucking your tail, rounding your back upward towards the sky. This is cat. On the inhale, lift from the chin and chest, spine goes towards the mat, tail lifts up last. This is cow. And then round up into your back, tucking your tail under, rounding the back skyward, chin tucking last. This is cat. And move into 8 more rounds of cat-cows. You can move your hips forward and back. You can make little circular motions with your hips and go in both directions. You can thread the needle, taking one arm underneath the other, opening up through your side body, all through your neck and your shoulder. And whatever you do on one side, you're going to do on the other side for the same length of time. Feel free to pull your cows into modified upward facing dogs, or round your back so deep in your cat that you drag up onto your fingertips. Deep breaths, full breaths. Acknowledge the top of the inhalation and the bottom of the exhalation. Spine, tucking your toes forward, fingers spread open super wide. Take a deep inhale to the space between your shoulder blades and your upper back. And on your exhale, lift your seat up and back into downward facing dog. And move your feet back away from your hands an inch or 2 so the feet are hip distance and parallel. Hiding the heels behind the toes. Walk your dog. Bending alternate knees. Taking a little hang time in each of your heels. Stay strong across your arms and your shoulders. You may like to lift one leg and drop the heel toward the opposite buttock, opening up the hip and the side body. Roll your ankle out. The other side. You can turn both your feet to the left and drop your hips down to the right and vice versa. Side to side, stretching all through the IT band. Some of you who are on the more flexible side are welcome to do what is called flip dog, where you flip over, coming into a variation on wheel. It's also called wild thing. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog and hold our down dog for a few more breaths. Now down dog is a position, it's very important. We come to it a lot during power sequences. Your heels are hiding behind your toes and your feet are parallel. Your hands are shoulder distance apart and parallel. The fingers are spread wide. Draw your low belly in, up, and back. Hit your thighs back. Straighten your arms. Relax your neck and let the crown of the head come towards the mat. The eyes and the elbows should be looking at each other. If you need to check. And if your eyes and the elbows are turning out like a bulldog, turn your hands out slightly to the right and left so you can straighten your arms. And then look to the space in between your hands and let's walk up into that space. And taking your feet hip distance or wider, bend your knees, let the head relax. And then if you have a back issue or you're pregnant, keep your hands on the ground. Otherwise, grab opposite elbows, putting the thumbs in the creases of the elbows and turning the head right and left in a no motion. And nodding the head in a yes motion. You can take your head around in little circles, going in both directions. Instilling the head to switch the grip, putting the other forearm in front, and then we'll move our hips from side to side, bending alternate knees, hips left, torso right, and vice versa. Every time you exhale, let your elbows get a little closer to the mat. Take a little way forward toward the toes, hips over ankle bones. Good, and then we're going to come into the center line and hang the arms down. Let them hang like a rag doll. If you're injured in the back or you're pregnant, keep your feet hip distance, your knees bending, and you'll walk your hands up your bent legs. Otherwise, you toe heel the feet so they come side by side. Hitting the thighs back, tucking the tail down, slowly round yourself upright. You're going to take the shoulders down and back twice. And then come to the very top of your mat. Feet together, hands at heart center, focus forward, connect with your breath. Eyes are open. Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, bow down. Keep your head relaxed. Bring your left foot back, put your knee to the ground, top of the foot down. Arms go up and back. This is called low lunge. Then take your hands to the mat, step back, and lower all the way to the ground. Extend your arms 12 inches forward, tops of feet down. Inhalation, curl up into low cobra, and then pull your hands back, tuck your toes, and press into down dog. Take your left foot and step it up, coming into low lunge. Coming up with forward bend. Rise up and arc it back. Exhalation, bowing down. Head is relaxed. Take your right foot back, put your knee down. Low lunging. Put your hands to the mat. Stepping back, lower down to the floor. Extend the hands 12 inches forward. Inhale, low cobra. Then pull your hands back, tucking your toes. Downward dog. Take your right foot, stepping it up. Low lunge. And come up to forward bend. Rise up, arc it back, and bow. Take your left foot back, put your knee down, low lunge. Step back and lower down to the ground. Lay your forearms down. Inhalation, Sphinx. And then pull the hands back. Exhalation, down dog. Take the left foot, step it forward. And then come up to forward bend. Rise up and back. And bow. Take the right foot back. Knee goes down. Low lunge. Hands to the mat. Lower to the floor. Forearms down. Inhalation, Sphinx. And exhalation. step it forward, coming into your low lunge. Coming up, we forward bend. Rise up, arc it back, exhalation, bow. Right side, knee goes down. Hands to the mat, lower to the floor. Hands stay where they are. Inhalation, Bhujangasana Cobra. Exhalation, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Right foot comes forward, low lunging. Coming up to forward fold. Take it up and back, and bow. Take the left foot back, put the knee down, top of foot down, low lunge. Then hands to the mat, and lower down. This time go wide and high on your fingertips, curling it up high, cobra. Exhalation, press it back, down dog. Take the left foot, step it up, and come up to forward bend. Take it up and back, and bow. Right side, knee goes down, low lunging. Hands to the mat, lower to the floor. We take it wide and high. And exhale, downward dog. Taking right foot, step it up, and forward fold at the top. Take it up and back, and bow. Left side, knee goes down. Step back, hold, high push-up plank. Left hand, left foot center. Stack right foot on left. Vashisthasana, hold your pose. The modification is to put the bottom knee down. You can add variations. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2. High push-up plank. Lower chaturanga. Curl it into upward facing dog. And then press it to down dog. Taking the left foot up. Low lunging. Exhalation, forward bending. Taking it up and back, and bowing it down. Right side, knee goes down. Stepping back, hold, high push-up plank. Then take your right hand and your right foot to the center. Stack, turn, open into Vashisthasana. Whatever you did on the other side, you repeat here. Keep breathing, lifting through the chest. For 3, 2, beautiful, high push-up plank. Lower chaturanga, elbows go straight back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, breath, right foot forward. This is your low lunge. Then come up and forward bend. Rise up and arc back. Bow it on down. Last edge. Left side, knee goes down, let's flow. Step it back, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot forward, low lunge. And come up to forward fold. Rise up, arc it back, exhalation, bow. We're going to take the right foot back, knee goes down. Lower chaturanga, upward dogs to downward dogs, and the right foot comes up. And then when you complete this right side, hold your forward fold at the top. And you'll notice that you're a lot more open than you were when you first started. When we stimulate the body by moving in our sun salutations, you'll notice that the mind sometimes doesn't quite know what to do. Whether or not you should think or not think too much. Whether or not that problem you came in with seems quite as bad or not. So to be very aware of how we choose to attach to things like thoughts, and then we detach from things like our own body, which you do not want to lose the connection between your body and your mind. So take a couple more breaths here. Breathe up and down your spine. I'm turning my hands around so my fingers are pointed toward the back of the mat, stretching through my forearms and wrists, palms flat on the ground. That's one variation. You can step on your palms, toes to wrists if you like. It's especially good if you're achy in the wrists. You can scoop up your heels in the palms of your hands. Stretch your hamstrings. You can hold your big toes with your peace fingers. If your shoulders are tight, take the interlace behind you and stretch the arms up and over. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. A little weight toward the toes, hips over ankle bones. Work for straighter legs. And then release your variations and toe heel your feet side by side unless you're modifying. And we're going to bend the knees, sitting down into an imaginary chair. This is called Utkatasana, awkward pose, fierce pose, chair pose. It's also known as powerful pose. Sit lower and deeper, get some weight toward the heels. Then shoot it up. And on the exhale, bow forward. Now look up halfway, and you can step or you can jump back. I'm going to step on the first one. Lowering chaturanga. Coming into upward facing dog. And then pressing into downward facing dog. We'll take our left foot and step it up for warrior 1. Holding your pose. And the outer edge of your right foot should be down on the mat. Your left knee should be bending at 90 degrees. And your arms are straight and in line with your side bodies, which means you might have to take your arms wider so that you can feel that openness in your chest. Square the chest directly forward. Beautiful. Then put the hands on the ground, stepping back, and we lower. Inhalation, curl it up. Exhalation, bring it back. Taking now the right foot, stepping it forward. This is warrior 1. Right knee bending 90. Chest squared forward. Outer edge of left foot firmly down. Arms are straight. Go as wide as you need to line up the arms with the side bodies. Put the hands down. Step back. And lower. Inhale and exhale. 2 breaths. So earlier I told you we would come to down dog a lot, and we set it up. And you use your down dog to reconnect with your breath, to realign, and to rest. Good. Look up and step or jump. Fold in. Sitting down into your imaginary chair. Shoot it up. And on the exhale, bow forward. Looking up halfway. This time you can step or jump back, so that's always the way, but if you do jump, you jump to chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Let's take the left foot up for warrior 2. In warrior 2, left knee bending 90, but chest is facing long mirror ball. Arms are extended to the left and to the right. Your gaze is left. Inner upper thighs are pressing apart. And we're going to flip the palm and reach it back. And your right hand can be at your hip or your thigh. then slide into Konasana. Left hand goes behind left ankle, right arm comes over. More breaths. Inhale, come all the way up. Turn your feet so that they face the long mirrored wall. Put your hands on your hips. Loop your tail. Roll your chest open. And from the hips, hinge forward. Right where the hips meet the thighs. Walk your hands back through. Grab your ankle bones. Put your head on the ground. Two more breaths. Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk your hands forward. Inhale and rise. Toe heel in twice. Turn your right foot in deeply and your left foot so it faces forward. Sweep your arms above your head in prayer position. Tuck your chin on your chest and come forward. Forward in the upper body over the lower body. This is called Parsvottanasana. Extended side triangle. Two more breaths. Work your left hip back, your right hip forward. Pull your low belly in. Pull your shoulders away from your neck. Put your hands in prayer above your head. Inhale, unwind. Take one step to the top of your mat. Bend your knees and sit down in your imaginary chair. Open your arms and cross your left arm underneath your right at the elbow and again in the wrist. This is called Dandasana. Take your left leg and cross it up and over. Grab your belly. Square your hips and your shoulders. Come lower. Bending both the knees. Sit deeper for 3, 2, 1. Come up, arm back, exhale, bow it down. Look up halfway, come on back, lower. Flow through your Vinyasa. Right foot comes up, warrior 2. Right knee bending 90, left leg straight. Torso center line, arms extended at shoulder height, gaze is to the right. Check in with your breath. Power up your legs. Flip the right palm and bring it on back, reversing your warrior. Peaceful warrior. Breathe. On the next exhale, slide into Konasana. Right hand goes down, left arm over. If you're injured in your back or you're pregnant, that top arm should go straight up. Two more breaths. Use your arm and your leg to help you turn your waist and lift and turn your chest. Inhale, come upright. Turn your feet so they face the long edge of your mat toward the orange wall. Put your hands on your hips. Loop your tail. And then exhale, come forward. This time, walk over to your left ankle take interlaced grip behind the ankle. Bring your forehead onto your shin. Right elbow down onto the mat. Now, if normally when you're in the forward bend with straight legs, you have to bend your knees, then you would bend your knees here too. Okay? So what's important is that you get the extension through your spine. Let's walk on over to the other leg. Take interlace behind the ankle. Breathe through your side bodies. Forehead on shin. Bend the knees if you need to. Good. Come center. Hold your outer ankles. Put your head on the floor. Should be easier now that you have length in your side bodies. Good. Inhale and come up. Toe heeling twice. And turn your left foot in deep. And your right foot so it faces the short mirrored wall. Arms come above the head in prayer. You should switch out your thumb grip in your prayer position. Lengthen up, lean back, chin to the chest, and come forward. And place your hands on either side of the foot. Level your hips. Work your right hip back and your left hip forward. Use your hands pressing down to pull your shoulders back away from the ground. Then put your hands in prayer above your head. Inhale and come up. And step up to the top of the mat. And open the arms. And now cross the right arm underneath the left, the elbow and the wrist, eagle arch. Sit down in that chair. And we're going to take the right leg and cross it up and over the left, wrapping the foot. Align, modify if you need to. You can always put your elbows and your palms together. Squeeze, and lay the torso on the thighs, opening up into your hips, shoulders, knees, ankles, wrists, and elbows. All those major joints come lower for 3, 2, 1. Shoot it up and bow down. Looking up halfway, come on back. Step or jump and lower. Inhaling and exhale. We're going to move into 2 more Bs, one with a variation, and then the other one just straight forward. Take your left foot and step it forward for warrior 1 with an open heart. Bending the elbows and opening the heart skyward. Beautiful. Put the hands down, step back, and lower. Inhale and exhale. Okay, take your right foot up. Warrior 1, open heart. Bend the elbows. Tilt the elbows forward. Take the hands back and lift the heart. Beautiful. Put the hands down. Lower. Inhaling. And then exhaling. Coming into downward facing dog. 3 breaths in your down dog. Remembering that you use your down dog to rest, realign, and reconnect with your breath. Look up, step or jump, fold in, bending the knees, let's sit down into the chair, last beat, shoot it up, exhale, bow it down, looking up halfway, come on back. Inhaling and exhaling, left foot up, warrior 1. As soon as you're up, Bring it back down. Right side. Flow. Down dog. Five breaths. Notice the difference between this down dog and the very first one you did today. Look up and step or jump. Fold in. Sit down in your chair. Come on. Bring your hands to your heart. Good evening. Have some water. Everybody warm? Grab water. Grab water whenever you need it. This is also the time to get rid of blocks that you might need. So the blocks are all around the perimeter of the room. The strap basket in the front, one usually in the back. If you're quick, just turn around so I can talk to you from my mat. That would be so great. So we're going to work on detachment. And I was sharing with folks in the last few days that detachment is not just from bad habits and things that we don't like. It's from everything. And what it means is that you're just not attached to the outcome of whatever happens. However life goes, whatever choices you've made, you don't get attached to the outcome. So you can still desire things, manifest things, want things, but you may or may not get exactly what it was that you were asking for in the form you were asking for it. So I think it's very easy to recognize that we get things in our lives sometimes that we don't want. And somehow we think those were just put upon us. Somehow by chance and bad luck, something happened. And if it was the result of a direct choice that you made, then it's not bad luck. It's the result of choice making. Life in the world is going to go on the way that it does, regardless of what we decide. The world operates on its own. But we are in control of making choices for ourselves. So if you made a choice and it was something that you realized was not a good choice, then you have the option to accept how you've been, what you've done, and then to move on, doing different things. You must detach, though, from holding on. People go to school, for example, and get their degree in whatever, and then they spend the rest of their life maybe hating what they're doing because they will not let go of the fact that they made a choice that didn't serve them the way they wanted it to. They just stick with it. Stubborn, hold on, won't detach, and cling to it because they want to believe that it was the right decision, even when the entire universe is saying it wasn't.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about detaching from, okay? Great place to practice on your mat. The pose you've been fixated on for the last 6 months, I'm going to invite you to let it go. If this is your first class, whatever you've been fixated on for the last 6 months, I'm going to invite you to leave it in the room today when you go, all right? So let's come to the top of the mat. It's funny because you probably know exactly what it is. Come to the top of the mat and let's continue our practice. Practicing detachment. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a cleansing breath if you need it. In the nose and out the mouth. And then inhale and raise your arms up. And on the exhale, bow forward. And look up halfway. And step or jump back and flow through your Vinyasa. And we'll all meet in down dog. Take your left foot up for triangle. Come directly in. Both legs are straight. Left hand is behind left ankle. Shoulders are in one line. Low belly is in. Turning the waist, turning the chest, turning the shoulders, turning the neck. Put your top hand on your hip. Bend your forward knee. Move your left hand forward and lift your right leg, coming into Ardha Chandrasana. This is the half moon. Once you have your balance, lift your top arm skyward. And then take it to standing split. Hands go to the mat. Lift your leg in the air. Walk your hands back. Draw your shoulders back away from your neck. Lift your leg in the air skyward as high as you can. Spread your toes, wake up your feet. Squeeze your thighs, pull in your belly, lengthen your neck. Good, and then step the feet side by side. And bend your knees and sit down into an imaginary chair. And we're going to shoot it up. And on the exhale, bowing forward, looking up halfway. Let's bring it on back and lower. Inhale and exhale. And now we take the right foot, stepping it up for triangle, coming directly in. Legs are straight, arms are straight. There's one straight line across your shoulders. Put your top hand on your hip. Bend your forward knee. Move your right hand forward and lift your back leg. And once you have your balance, send your top arm up. Find the balance in the pose, engaging both of your thighs, pulling in your low belly and turning your waist away from the floor. Transition standing split. Lifting the legs skyward. Walking the hands back towards your standing foot. And lifting the leg in the air as high as you can. Spread your toes wide. Engage both of your thighs. Pull in your belly. Go deeper and deeper. Lift higher. You have 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. Step the feet side by side. Bend your knees. And sit down into your imaginary chair. Bring your hands to heart center. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to twist it, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, turning and twisting your chair, and then hover your left foot up off of the mat and stepping it all the way back. So you're in the revolving crescent lunge, turning your waist and your chest, shoulders and your neck. Hands go down on the ground. Walk your right foot over, drop your back knee down, back your hips up, and take your right arm underneath your right leg. Put your hand on the outside of your ankle. This is called head to ankle. Take your left hand over the top of your foot. And this is where your props can come in handy. If your left forearm doesn't reach the floor, you can put a block underneath your left forearm. And then from there, you can keep your back knee down, or if you'd like, you can tuck your toes and straighten the leg. Relax your head. And we're going to take 2 more breaths here. And then release from your head to ankle and take a vinyasa. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, look up and step or jump. And fold in. And bend your knees to sit down in your chair. And bring your hands to heart center. And now take your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. And hover your right foot off of the mat. Stepping it back. Coming into the revolving crescent. Turning your waist, chest, shoulders, neck. Releasing the hands to the floor, dropping the back knee down, backing your hips up, moving your left foot over, taking your left hand and arm underneath your left leg, grabbing over the top of the foot with your hand, using your block if you need to, tucking the back toes if that's what you did on the other side, working that head to ankle pose. Deep breath, engage both of your legs. Yep, back your hips up and it will help you. Yes, good. And releasing. Step it back and take a vinyasa. Curling it up and pressing it back. Walk your hands towards your feet and slowly round up. And we're going to move into dancer's pose, followed by holding the big toe where your foot never touches the ground. So once it's up, it's going to stay up. Inhale and raise your arms above your head. Turn your right palm so it faces forward. Bring your left arm down by your side with the palm of your hand and the soft of your elbow facing out. Bend your left knee and grab the instep, the big toe side of your left foot. Good. Take an inhale breath and grow taller. And on the exhale breath, start to kick back and up. Lift on the inhale, kick on the exhale. Hinge forward slightly, lift more. Push the toes up. Strengthen the arms. Good, then inhale, upright foot never touches the floor. Bring it forward, reach down the inside of the leg, and go hook your peace fingers on your big toe. Stand upright, and on the exhale, send the leg forward, and on the next exhale, send the leg out to the side. You can counterbalance with your right arm, or you can have your hand on the hip to lift the leg higher, bend the elbow. Bring the leg back to the center, and place your foot down. Take a cleansing breath if you need it, in the nose and out the mouth. Inhale, raise your arms up. Right palm to face forward, left arm to come down. Oh, other way around. Left arm stays up, right arm comes down. Bend your knees, grab your foot. Bring your knees toward each other, pull in your belly. Lift up on an inhale. And as you exhale, start to kick back and up. Kicking the foot back. Lifting the leg higher. Straighten the arms. Push the toes skyward. For 3. Now keep the foot off the ground. Come upright. Release the foot, catch it at the front. Go down the inside of the leg. Focus and concentrate. Grab hold of your big toe with your peace fingers. Good job. Send the leg forward and then send the leg out to the side. You can counterbalance with your free arm. You can lift the leg higher.
by bending your elbow. Bring the leg back to the center, fold it in, place it down. Walk up to the top of the mat, bring your hands to heart center, connect with your breath. Inhale, raise your arms, and exhale, bow down. Inhale, look up halfway, and then step or jump it back. Inhalation and exhalation. Bring your feet toward each other. Left leg is going to come up, and then bring it forward and lay the knee down for the half pigeon. Send the right leg straight back. Walk your hands back on either side of your hips and lift your chest. And you can take your left shin and move it slightly forward, or some of you can even get your shin parallel with the front of the mat. Yes, Hanumanasana split for more advanced is perfectly fine. Lifting the chest up and then dragging the chest forward, laying the forehead down. And one of the best ways you can open your shoulders in this pose is if you put your elbows out in front with your hands in prayer behind your head. Slowly unwind, and we're just going to be real straightforward. We're going to come back into down dog and do the other side. So bring your feet toward each other at this time. The right leg is going to come up, and bring the knee forward. Lay the knee and the shin down. You might want to move your shin further forward. Balance out your hips. Puff up your chest like a pigeon, and then drag your chest forward. And if you had your elbows down with your hands behind your head in prayer, do that again. Slowly make your way up. Go get your back leg and bring it forward. We're going to lie all the way down onto the back. And we're moving into bridge. Make sure that your middle fingers can touch your heels. Feet are parallel. Take an inhale to the chest. And on the exhale, lift up your hips. Bring the upper arms toward each other. I like to turn my palms over, taking it a little more passive. If you want to make it more active, you can interlace. You choose. Bring your knees toward each other. We're going to echo pop the bridge. If you're back injured, you might want to put a block underneath your low back. Let's lift up one leg. You pick which one is fine. Put that leg back down. Take a breath, lift your chest. On the next exhale, lift the other leg up. Activate your thighs. Good. Put that leg down. Take 2 more breaths and bridge. So sort of right when you want to come out of it, I'm asking you to go deeper into it. This is one of the best ways to practice detachment. Because we'll tell ourselves, oh yeah, I let that go, but we know we're holding it in. And then articulate upper back, middle back, lower back down onto the ground. Grab behind your thighs and rock and roll yourself up. And we're going to go upside down for 3 minutes tonight. So in level 1, we're working up to 5 or 7 minutes in an inversion. So certainly have a sip of water. Don't drink too much though, because you don't want it to come back up. So, is there anyone who has a particular inversion like headstand or shoulder stand or forearm balance that you wanted to do but you don't know how to do it? This one? Headstand? What's that? Headstand? Okay. So I'm going to teach headstand so that you can learn how to do it, okay? So if you come on this side where I am, you know, you won't really be in there, and you can just watch. So if you want to learn how to stand on your head, I'm going to show it at the wall. First thing you do is you take your mat, and if it's thin, like mine is thin, you fold it from the front to the back, and quite frankly, twice would not be too many times, okay? Here's the challenge in the hot room. The floor can be slippery, okay? And so you just have to be mindful. It's not too bad though tonight, so I'm gonna just fold it like this. And then you put it right up on the wall. The crown of your head, if you put the heel of your hand in the bridge of your nose and extend your middle finger, that's the crown. And you'll notice that if you turn your head on it, you recognize that it lines up directly with your spine. So that's where we want to be on the head when we're upside down. Most people either go too close to their forehead or too far back toward the back of their head. Okay, so it's right there at the crown. Savasana 1, which is headstand 1, the reason it's level 1 is because you're holding your head in your hands, which supports your neck. The one that's actually easier for a lot of people is the hands down, but it's not technically easier because there's no support for your neck. It's easier for your chest though, because the chest doesn't have to open because your hands are apart. Okay, so you see the, yeah. So sometimes level 1 is actually harder in some ways, but it's always safer. Okay, and so then this is how you get in. You put your hands about 4 inches or so away from the wall, and see how my elbows are on here, and the elbows are narrow of the shoulders. You catch the back of your head in your hands, crown is down, you walk toes towards nose, and then you lift up. And then you can practice free balancing. When you start to get used to it, you can start to try and bring both legs up at the same time. And quite frankly, there's no reason you couldn't try that on your very first day if you're strong, okay? And then you'll be off the wall soon. If you have a neck issue, you cannot stand on your head. If you have issues with your eyes, not that you have vision problems, but like you have glaucoma, cataracts, you know, something you've had eye surgery recently, don't stand on your head. Other than that, go ahead up. Put your mat right onto the wall, anywhere where there's orange, and we'll go up for a few minutes. You get that, guys? This is the breath. Just so you can get used to it. And then of course you'll just go up.
Bethany, that was great. I've never done this.
I'm so excited. If you release your attachment to thinking you can't do things, you'll find that you can do lots of things. Bring your elbows a little more narrow if you can. Good. And you'll put your head on the ground. You gotta be careful not to go forward. She's freestanding, so you kind of watch the way she's playing it. You see if she's coming, she stops herself from letting the shoulders go any further. And then worst case scenario, right? That's it. You just that won't happen at the wall. I think it's kind of fun.
To freestand?
To go all over the wall over. Yeah.
I used to just go flat, and my friend was like, why don't you just backpedal?
Why don't you do it?
I was like, that sounds great.
Good idea. Eyes forward. Don't let your shoulders go any further forward. Bring your elbows closer together. Yes. Press, put your palms flat. Flat no on the floor. Yes. Look at the blocks you don't hit. Then lift one leg. Yeah, that's okay. You are halfway there. Okay, so we're working. Lie on your back, legs up. Two more hands up. We'll come. Well, look at you. You look like you've been doing this for a long time. How's it feeling? Good, don't move your head. Bring your elbows closer together if you can. Very nice. Good, now bring your feet all the way up so that they're straight up. You must stack your skeleton. Very nice. Okay, come down, please. Beautiful, nice, Kelly. Good shoulders in. Rest for 6 breaths. However you did, on any part of the class, actively make a choice to detach. Even if you thought you did fantastic, this is a very important lesson. The ego, when it is not tamed, will run away with you. And then you'll go through your life feeling like you're on a roller coaster of highs and lows. One day you think you're doing great, the next day you think that you're doing awful. One day you think everyone likes you, the next day you think no one likes you. Up, down, up, down. So find that place in between. You should acknowledge and even celebrate your wins, but let them go. And you should do the very same thing with your losses. All we have is right now. Slowly, if you are in a different spot than you were originally, go ahead and bring your mat back to your spot. And we're going to lie on our back and do happy baby. Bend your knees. Reach up. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. And rock east and west. If you don't prefer that, you're welcome to hold the inside or the outside edges of your feet. Rocking east and west, back and forth. Stillness and give yourself a good squeeze. And then place your feet down. And we're going to go into Matsuyasana fish. If you have a neck issue, you do not need to do this pose. You can do more happy baby if you want to. We're going to lift the hips up and put the hands underneath the seat, palms facing down, and then extending your legs long. Press in your elbows and look behind you. It's like a reverse cobra. It's called fish. Then press in the elbows, tuck the chin, bend the knees, lay the head down, lift the hips up to take the hands out, move
Move the hips over to the left, pull the knees into the chest, arms out like a goalpost position at shoulder height. Drop the knees over to the right, supine twisting. Lift your top leg, followed by your bottom. Pick up your hips, move them over to the right, pull the knees into the chest, and drop the knees over to the left. Lift your top leg, followed by your bottom. Come to the center, Savasana. Arms come down, legs extend long. Feet flop open, close and still your eyes, and let your belly rise and fall. And I'll read to you a little something from the Upanishads. As the web issues out of the spider and is withdrawn, as plants sprout from the earth, as hair grows from the body, even so, the sages say that this universe springs from the deathless self, the source of life, pure awareness, what always has, what always will be. I thank you so much for allowing me to teach you. Namaste.